Welcome back to the Big Sunday Show, everyone. President Biden breaking his promise not to raise taxes on the middle class. The so-called Inflation Reduction Act would do exactly that. But Senator Manchin claims it won't. Earlier on Fox News Sunday. Listen.
It does not raise taxes, and I've said this before. I said all we did was close loopholes.
But the Joint Committee on Taxation Analysis finds he's wrong. The bipartisan group says taxes would increase next year for people who earn less than $200,000. The average tax rate for nearly every income bracket would increase, and in about 10 years, those earning below $400,000 would bear as much as 2/3 of the tax burden, thanks to new green energy credits kicking in to help the wealthy. All right, guys. A lot here to talk about. So this bill is a little bit less than the Build Back Better bill. That was only $3 trillion. This one is $433 billion. But I think the key here is it's not a done deal yet. Is the key to this bill Kyrsten Sinema? Charlie, let me ask you first.
It may be, but the other key is obviously Joe Manchin. Mm-hmm. And for a guy who has spent as much time as he's spent talking about being concerned about inflation and the devastating effects that inflation has on working Americans, to go along with something like this, which is, they can call it the Inflation Reduction Act all they want.
Right.
It is not going to reduce inflation. It is going to increase inflation. There is no such thing as a free meal. Money comes from somewhere. Even if you're printing it, money comes from somewhere, and working Americans are going to pay the price for this. And why Joe Manchin wants to be at the center of this and make things so much worse, he's up in 2024 at the same time when either Joe Biden or President Trump will be back on the scene. It's going to be really interesting, and he's going to pay some sort of price for this.
Yeah, I mean, Bret Baier put him on the spot this morning on Fox News Sunday, and Joe Biden wouldn't back down. I want to put up this quote. We all know the University of Pennsylvania has an excellent business school. This is what they say, the Wharton budget model on spending. We estimate that the Inflation Reduction Act will produce a very small increase in inflation for the first few years, up 0.5% points in 2024. Okay, but Rachel, the American family is already struggling with inflation, prices at the grocery store, gas, you name it, everything is up. Can they bear a tax increase?
No, I mean, this is such an insult to the American people, just as Charlie was talking about. I mean, you have someone like Al Gore tweeting, "I love the Inflation Reduction bill." Why? Because it's a climate bill. It has nothing to do with inflation. In fact, it's going to raise taxes. It's going to exacerbate inflation. Manchin knows that the people, he's lying, first of all. Joe Manchin is lying. He knows what's happening in this bill. He knows exactly what's going on, but he's going to go on and lie and say that it's about reducing inflation and say that it's not going to raise taxes. And he's doing that because he knows the people of his state don't like Joe Biden. They miss Trump. They definitely miss Trump gas prices. They miss Trump economy. They miss the Trump foreign policy, where like every 3 months we're not facing some sort of nuclear catastrophe. And I think a lot of Republicans have given Joe Manchin a lot of grace because next to, AOC and Pelosi and Joe Biden and Kamala, he seems normal. He seems moderate, but he's not. He's a hardcore liberal. He just looks a little bit more normal next to these guys. And you're right. It's interesting. He's up in 2024. Is he making a play to run for president? I don't know what he's doing. He's got to keep the Democrats happy, too, to do that. And he's willing to basically hurt his own people, who are some of the poorest in the country, by the way, in order to do this.
Well, this party does not like moderates, okay? Remember Michael Bloomberg, who was considered, I guess, a moderate?
Yeah.
And then remember the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones? That's what happened to him on the debate stage with Elizabeth Warren. You don't remember the Red Wedding? Oh, it was ugly. In other words, it was just carnage. Okay, you don't watch Game of Thrones. You look like the type. All right, do you remember the Red Wedding?
I am not a Game of Thrones or
I have watched Game of Thrones.
I just made an analogy nobody understands.
Joe, hold it right there, Joe.
Okay.
I want to give Senator Joe Manchin a chance to react to the study out of Wharton. So let's hear what he had to say about that on Fox News Sunday.
There are some analysis groups, some nonpartisan groups. University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School, says the act would very slightly increase inflation until 2024, then decrease inflation after that. But it says roughly it's indistinguishable from zero, and they don't think it'll have an impact on inflation. So, I mean, that's a group that's looking at this.
Brett, I respectfully disagree on that, but you know what? We can have differences of opinions.
Boy, that's a generic answer, if there's ever been one, right?
Yeah, but it is so interesting, though, how Joe Manchin was really a sort of a darling of the Republicans and people who are middle of the road. He's going to be out if this thing gets passed, right? So I know you're chomping at the bit to say something, but I want to ask you, do you think he has aspirations to be president one day?
Well, it doesn't seem like he has aspirations to get reelected as senator of West Virginia.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And maybe he's thinking about trying to quit the party. But he's always been so good at putting himself in this position where he holds all of the levers and, often brings things home to his state. But I'm sorry, you can't spend hundreds of billions of dollars and not increase inflation. And one other point that is so important that gets lost here is the fact that you have the Fed raising interest rates. Who pays the brunt of when it's not rich people who pay the price when you raise interest rates. It's working Americans who pay that price. You can't buy a car, you can't buy a house, you can't sell the house you have. Working Americans pay the entire price, or the lion's share of the price.
And by the way,
it's the average middle-class family making $67,000 a year, like we talked about yesterday. Joe, one more point.
Nobody wants this. All right. Build Back Better. CNN ran a poll that said that 1 in 4 people said that Build Back Better would make their lives personally better. Then you see that 94% of Americans are concerned about inflation. So then your idea is to spend, I know you mentioned that number before, $450 billion. When you throw in the gimmicks, it's really $700 billion, right? When you throw that into the economy, of course inflation is going to go up even more than it is now. We're nearly at 10%. And finally, no one trusts this administration because they first said that inflation was temporary. Remember that? That was only going to be a thing last summer. Then they blamed Putin. Then they blamed evil oil companies. Then they blamed mom and dad gas station owners. So no one believes them when they say, trust us. We think this is going to bring down the deficit and inflation. It ain't.
Well, maybe Joe Manchin has some magic math, some magic numbers, but we're going to see.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.